Here, it's a Brave Smite, Guinevere.
But it's also a sprint for Irithel, a bit confident here. We're gonna see here Rebellion Giants versus RRQ Rex Requiem Keon in game number 1 of Mpl Indonesia Season 12, week number 6.
Whew. All the stakes in the early game are available. With a Terizla in the mid lane though, means that our Rebellion can be a lot more oppressive when it comes to the trio mid lane like we've been talking about. This could be a solution for RRQ's playstyle, and having a Novaria means that there is still adequate damage in the early game, good range for Rebellion to try and play around.
And super fast clear. You saw that. Finished up the orange buff faster than Fersik on that purple buff. Going to have a bit of a lead when it comes down to this lethal battle. Sway Low is already there to position himself. Gets chunked quite low. Tower's Revenge knocks him up. But Vincent will secure the lethal Wanderer with a Retribution. A small win for Rebellion Zion, but Sway Low takes a beating.
I think that's going to be the idea, right? Swalo takes a beating, everyone else tries and turns it around. They're going for the very sustain-heavy meta right here with 3 Brave Smites, 2... man, there's just a lot of tankiness right here. They want to try and dive in. And for RRQ, they know that they can't really give that to Rebellion. 3 Quantum Charges, allowing them to just maneuver away, and 3 Agilities, just to ensure that if Rebellion Zion don't get a decisive engage, RRQ, they can just move away.
Okay, so Vincent, already level 4, going for the Adaptic attack just to get more jungling ability, I would say. But the question is it going to be Guinevere full tank, or is it going to be like semi-hybrid, like a Lancelot tank?
Should be semi, I feel like. With a Terizla and a Lapu Lapu already available, all 3 going semi will mean that there's a good mix of damage and tankiness on 3 different members. So RRQ will have quite an issue trying to make sure that everyone gets taken care of at the same time. And with everyone gathering around the turtle area, I think Rebellion with more fighters will be able to just bully RRQ more.
Well, right now, Banana gets a good knockout strike. Bravest Fighter popped in. Clay gets stunned. Ooh. Just soaks it in like it's nothing. Penalty zone used up by Clay. Gets caught on the Bravest Fighter. Might need to use that flicker. It gets super, super low. 1v1 the Retry battle. Fersik 50-50 wins it as usual. Coming down below. Whoa. Banana getting out with the Astral Sphere. Connects. Waylo misses the final shot, but it's still going to be first blood as the Astral Echo reveals 3 members. Naomi charges. The Tower's Revenge revealing Vincent once again. Fersik gets a good taunt, but there is no more commitment. It's just a few good shots here and there. A kill traded in for a turtle.
Ooh, a bit of a chaos here in game number 1 of RRQ versus Rebellion Zion. No gold lead whatsoever for both of these teams. Split 3-4-3 in the talent prediction. But so far in the early game, that turtle definitely gonna have a bit of a boost to RRQ's potential. But Vincent
jumps in, Violet Requiem as well, locking Fersik down. Has full stacks, has the Appraiser's Wrath, gets taunted up, penalty zone locks him down. And it's a kill over to Rebellion Zion, who now is trying to punish even more, capitalizing in the enemy jungle.
Ooh, immediately invading, having the fighters in the early game, this is what it allows you to do. RRQ, they were doing so well earlier on, is equalizing on the turtle fight, but now they seem to be able to actually protect this orange buff. Fersik will be able to have it, but Rebellion, they are still very proactively looking for moments that they can take advantage of.
It's gonna be hard for Skylar to be able to freely roam around the map or even deal damage towards the front line of Rebellion Zion with a lot of threat in the front line too. You have the Bravest Fighter, you have the penalty zone also, filed Requiem from Vincent. It's even worse that he's using that sprint over that Purify. So we're gonna see how he'll be able to move, like evade all the CCs away from Rebellion.
On the bright side though, if none of the stuns, none of the hard card controls really hit, he can just kite back away very efficiently. Now Fersik, thanks so much.
Cancels out the penalty zone. Sway Low now going to be caught in the Appraiser's Wrath. Takes Sway Low down.
Okay, there you go. That's an interaction of Fersik off of Redrin against a filed Requiem of Guinevere. It's not going to be able to land that knockup, but you also have another knockup in your favor, that penalty zone that can be synergized quite well. But Skylar is very aggressive.
Heavy crossbow used up, dealing a lot of damage and forcing Highs to back away, denying a jungle creep take. Meanwhile, Cars jumping in 2 members, trying to create some setup here for the team. Bravest Fighter continues over towards Fersik, who's still going to be able to sustain for now, but there you go! Oh. That's a cancel from Naomi! Still going to be a lot of damage placed down and Fersik taken out. Banana forced to run away as Vincent should get this for free. Rebellion Zion fighting back in the 4th minute of the game.
Okay, so that might be the reason why Guinevere was picked. You have Terizla to kind of zone away the jungler for objective takes, but as a jungler yourself, you can also kind of stun your opposing jungler, so it's a built-in EXP and jungler at the same time.
This is what we talked about earlier, Rebellion. They're going for quantity over quality, but whoa, look at his dive!
Skylar walks up to that. He knew he was revealed completely by the Astral Echo, but Naomi gets in. Purify, that's why you take the Purify. Highs gets out.
A bit of a blunder here for Skylar. Just losing out, finally getting taken out once. But like I mentioned, man, Rebellion can engage using so many different things. The Guinevere, the penalty zone, the Bravest Fighter as well. RRQ, they are just relying on Banana and Naomi mainly. Fersic just becomes a very easy target for Rebellion Zion to just commit to. With a 1k gold lead, it's definitely not as bad. But keep in mind, the more fighters you have, the more the late game doesn't exactly favor you.
Well, Naomi now is going to be the target. Oh my god, that Requiem! Woof. With a good Astral Meteor as well. Fersic now locking Swaylo down. Clay, we didn't see that. The penalty zone hit the wall. Still, should be Swaylo falling down here. The Brazer's Wrath finally picks him off. And RQ gets a trade down. Mid laner for Roamer.
It's 1k gold lead for Rebellion Zion so far, but the later the game goes, like, what's going to happen, Arasti? Because how much, like, the composition of Rebellion Zion is very, very chaotic. I can't really predict what's going to happen.
Well, in a way, they just swapped out their roamer for the mid lane, right? They have Alapu, a fighter. He will fall off even more, but then all the TZ on the Davaria will start ramping up, getting some more items, and starting to be a relevant damage dealer. But RRQ has an edge in mobility, so if Banana can just play that macro game and split push, Rebellion Zion, they don't really have a proper answer.
That's why I was quite concerned for the Kufra last pick. Kufra does really well in these ambush situations, but with a Novaria, so easy to read out where the Kufra is.
Well, another objective battle is going to happen for Vincent. Already charging up here. Swilo, it's in trouble.
That's the thing though, they don't want to commit onto one member that's a fighter. Vincent walks back up. Requiem is ready, but a penalty zone there from Clay. Stops him in his tracks. Now Vincent's going to be caught, but the Requiem comes in anyways. Another penalty zone from Sway Low. Vincent gets taken down, but it's worth it. 2 for 1. Naomi with the Tower's Revenge into the front, but it's going to be a stun from Cars. Not much follow-up. Another Astral Spear, but Clay is able to tank it up, body block it for Naomi.
Rebellion, they're doing a great job abusing their composition, and RRQ, they shouldn't really go for a fight without their gold laner. This is the advantage they have, technically, with more backline damage per second. But if they just try and fight Rebellion Zion with the lack of advantage in the fighter department, Rebellion Zion can just keep bullying like this, trading for more than what they lose in these engagements. With the turrets going down, Rebellion Zion will be trying to actually set up more ambushes, especially using this Guinevere in the hands of Vincent.
Told you, man, it's a Kingslayer for a reason. Rebellion Zion so far, 3k gold lead in the first 8 minutes. RRQ, mind you, they are the #1 seed, the #1 placer in Mpl Indonesia Season 12 standings. They are one of the team that's predicted to secure the upper bracket spot in the playoffs. And Rebellion Zion will try to look for a playoff berth, a secure position to play in that playoff.
I think at this point, Banana can just really go for a split push right here. There isn't really anything stopping him from doing so. And in fact, having the Skylar in the middle of a team fight where he can output that AoE DPS with his ultimate against all these close-range fighters of Rebellion, it sounds like an ideal situation, but now Banana.
Well, we did mention he needs a split push here, and he is successful at baiting out 3 big ultimates. My goodness, now Cars might actually get punished. Fersic gets a good taunt, but there's no more follow-up. Look at the damage dealers for RRQ into the mid lane. Sway Low. He's trying to zone. Penalty zone by Clay. Locking him down. Forcing a flicker around. Skylar used the heavy crossbow. Naomi finds a beautiful trade onto Audi TZ. That's a massive pickoff. No more vision. Cars, another Bravest Fighter here. Off a cooldown. Uses it to get more pressure to try to force RRQ away from this Lord. Versik gonna be stunned up. Naomi charging in. Only connecting onto Vincent, who gets the Requiem anyways. The clone soaks in a lot of damage. High still in the back to win some damage onto Banana, who is distracting the likes of Rebellion Zion. A Brazer's Wrath dodged away from Vincent versus Versik in a 50-50, where Clay tries to go for some damage, but Versik, the Young Lord, has just secured a 50-50 victory for RRQ. Cars in the back, flickering forward, getting a kill onto Clay, and it is just a chaotic duel, but RRQ walks out on top.
Oh, the Kingdom's Falcon finding the perfect target in LTDZ, and there's no more backline present, there's no more that burst potential from the Astral Echo from LTDZ. It's an easy secure for RRQ.
Fighting without their backline member, ODTZ technically the mage component in this composition, picking him up first and afterwards just allowing Skylar so much space already with the great Dragon Spear and the Has Claws. He is very slippery to try and find in the middle of these fights. Right now, I think Rebellion's best bet at winning a fight is going for the same situation earlier, but then sending in highs to just try and burst down the whole backline for right now, because there's no Wind of Nature available for Skylar just yet.
And he might be building onto one to here. There you go. That might be a Wind of Nature that you're talking about, Arashi, but he's not actually going for any penetration item whatsoever. What's going on, Arashi? I think it would be better if he actually picked up a Malefic Roar, knowing that Cars, Swalo, and the frontliner of Rebellion Zion is the usual target for him.
I think the approach is survivability over damage. Yes, damage is great when you can get it off, but against 3 fighters, Shevin, you want to have some kind of measure of security, because otherwise you're just completely zoned out away. And don't forget that Skylar is a very aggressive playmaking heavy kind of player as well, so he will definitely try and bait something out with the Wind of Nature if he has it at his disposal. With the Lord doing its job, RRQ are the ones with control right now. Rebellion needs to be a bit more careful, but as you mentioned, Mirko, they still have the Astral Echo to try and scout out for intelligence.
At this point, though, Rashi, 11 minutes in. Sure, they have the Astral Echo. They have a lot of weapons in their arsenal still to maybe try to turn the game around. But RRQ, you mentioned early on that when it comes towards the later stage of the game, it should be heavily favored by the team who doesn't have 3 fighters in their composition, technically, right? So what are the odds of Rebellion Zion winning this game? How do they get it done if they want to win?
They have to go for a risky play, a risky trade, because realistically, right, if they lose Cars or Sway Low or even Vincent, right, but trade him for maybe Skylar, that's going to be huge value, because for RRQ, not everybody on the team can do damage. They're relying on the main backline, like Skylar and Clay, to output the damage. For Rebellion, even if they lose highs, if they're able to take Skylar out, Cars and Sway Low and Vincent, they can just out-sustain and still do a healthy amount of damage and win it out. So if RRQ, they can protect their backline, they're pretty golden right now. Rebellion are the ones that have to try and do something crazy. Do a flank, you know, hide in the bushes and just let RRQ pass by you and go for a pinch maneuver. Something of that nature.
Okay, so the biggest thing for Rebellion Zion is to secure Skylar of that damage coming in. But so far, Skylar and Nomi has been working together perfectly. 2-man always rotating throughout the map. That's might be going in.
Oh, Swalo in penalty zone, and now Skylar gets out! Wow! How you get out of a 3-man engage on a sprint Irithel? Skylar makes it work. Naomi didn't even need to sweat, didn't even need to use any of his resources, and that is worth it. It's a penalty zone and an Astral Echo. Those are the 2 resources you need when you try to open up the side of the Lord. Naomi charging in again, now finally jumping in with Tower's Revenge, but doesn't connect onto anyone. Vincent jumps in, looking for the final Requiem right now. Spare Sick will get chunked, still able to sustain. Praise just rat baited out. Penalty zone misses for the side of Clay. Cars goes in for that stun. Banana now clearing out in the mid wave, gets chopped. Penalty zone, lock Banana down just for a bit, but he's able to dash away. Swalo getting a good shot onto Banana, 1 HP, baits him, and now Highs is forced to jump in with a win. Naomi knocks him up, pins him down to the wall for the Lord to slash his axe, or trident in this matter. Skylar dealing some damage once again. Vincent jumping in, jumping out again, getting locked down by Fairstick as Skylar dishes out the damage. Cars finally is rotated back towards that bottom lane. It's a 2-for-0 win for RRQ, but it seems like Rebellion are still looking for an opening towards this Lord.
Oh man, I can't really follow what's happening that fight. There's just a lot of fight going on. It's just chaos over chaos. Even Skylar is in the front line just tanking all the damage too. What's going on, Arashi? And right now, RRQ, 2K, Goldlin also Lord coming in.
It's RRQ just showing again that they are experienced in these chaotic fights. Even though so much action is happening, you can see that Clay and Skylar, they're always in the right place at the right time. Never really caught out of position. And even if they use, like earlier, Clay with the stolen penalty zone, not landing, everyone just managed the distance so well. And Rebellion are the ones that are just confused, getting their skills baited out. What is noteworthy, in my opinion, as we take a look at a instant replay right here, you can see that RRQ, they're just baiting in and out, and Banana here gets very, very low. Honestly, I think it's a bit of luck involved, but afterwards, you can see Hayes goes in, but he gets stunned up. Naomi, so deadly on that Kufra, just shutting down Rebellion Zion's outplay attempt. But if you look at the way they're maneuvering, they always send Skylar and Naomi to split push instead, so it might be what they're trying to do to stave off the fighter flank situation. And now, against get on the base already with the Lord, they can try and go for a proper front to back yet again.
But look at this. For RQ, they're doing the same thing, Arashi. A proper front to back. They can just use the Lord as a frontliner. Naomi can do as he pleases. He just charges around, and for Rebellion Zion, they're kind of forced to respond to that. They're always going to have to respect it at this point of the game. It's a 5,000 gold lead. RQ can dictate the fights. They can say when they want to fight and when they don't want to fight.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, when you want to try to respond, when you try to punish Naomi, all the other members of RQ is going to be free. This is Banana with Paquito. He can go in and out quite easily with that flicker, also with Quantum Charge. He has the damage, he has the sustainability, and that is what RQ is looking for as first access. How much damage coming in from Heist too?
Again, look at the split right here. The gold laner and the roamer in the top side, everyone else with more tankiness, with more mobility in the Lord side. Unfortunately for Rebellion Zion, they also lost the top side base turret, which means that RRQ will have such an edge in the macro department. Looking at the items right here, Divine Glaive completed for Clay. That means that he is now also one of the huge problems for Rebellion Zion to deal with. If you look at the items, like we assumed, it's going to be a bit of a mix of tankiness and damage. But for Rebellion, this means that their frontliners are also going to be a bit more squishy, especially in the face of the AoE coming in from Clay and Skylar.
It's a bit Heist-reliant composition for Rebellion Zion. As long as Heist gets a good blazing duet, that is all Rebellion needs to win the fight. But ODTZ, like, he doesn't really have that much damage either. He's going for more of a utility build in that Ice Queen 1, the slows, and also the anti-heal from the Necklace of Durance. I think he should go for more of a burst damage kind of item like Lightning Truncheon and Clock of Destiny.
He might go for a glowing wand after that, trying to be a utility slash DPS.
Wow. Because
back again, man, we've been talking about this, but ODTZ is gonna be quote-unquote backline DPS for Rebellion Zion. It won't be Cars as a Lapu Lapu. So if he goes for burst damage, that damage is gonna be bursty, but also very, very limited. Now RQ makes the move with Banana split pushing as assumed, and Naomi finds a pickoff.
Dark's Revenge and the Rage connecting, but only onto Cars. I'm not sure if this is going to be the right target to go for. Vincent jumps in once again. First, he can be able to taunt him down. Penalty zone onto the back. Only hands onto two. Skylar now with a heavy crossbow, dealing damage, melting Cars down. But he finds a good stun. Now it's still going to be Cars dishing out damage. And it's a spear from downtown, sniping him down. The Lord assisting Rebellion as they knock out Versing. Meanwhile, Banana in the back, 1v1 against High, still able to sustain for a bit, but the spear once again connects, and Vincent somehow, some way, still surviving in this clash. Bravest fighter again by Cars on towards Clay, forcing with a truncheon. The blazing Nue comes in clutch. Highs guns them down. It's a double kill, looking for the triple. Naomi loses the immortality. Highs waiting on that immortality, diving in. Naomi gets out with a very, very defensive Tyrant's Revenge. Rebellion Zion against all odds in the late game.
I don't get it, man. I do not get it. How is that so much damage towards Skylar? And also Vincent, he's not able to get a good violent Requiem over and over again. It always gets cancelled, and somehow, someway, Rebellion Zion wins out on sustained battle, Arashi.
It's all Cars. We talked about it, man. If Skylar gets taken out, that's just game over for RRQ. Clay was the only one outputting damage right there, and that's because Skylar just overestimates his damage, gets greedy for the kill onto Cars, walks forwards, gets bursted down. He needs to be a bit more careful right here. That has just costed RRQ the Lord and maybe control over the game so far. Rebellion Zion looking for a chance to equalize, not wanting to let RRQ hold the reins in this very competitive match.
Don't you just love Mpl ID Season 12?
Yeah.
It looks over. It looks like RQ should have it, but now the Lord, evolved at this point, is crashing into the King's base. Vincent walking up, zoning them away. Thursday gets taken to half HP, and RRQ, they are holding on for dear life.
2k gold for Rebellion right now, and with the waves pushing in, they have the chance to try and make the surprising plays, go for the surprising engages, at least until they reach the base of RRQ. RRQ also doesn't really have a lot of high ground clear, so this is a good chance for Rebellion to try and get some kind of siege action going, as long as they pay attention to the positioning and the playmaking potential of Naomi.
Okay, so it's gonna be another siege for Baron Zion. Just going over and over again, try to get some damage towards the inhibitor turret, but looks like he's gonna back up for now. RRQ, they have Paquito, they have the banana split potential on the EXP laner. Will they have to do it to be able to win the match? Because so far, I don't think Rebellion Zion has a, you know, very solid solo laner that can match up for Banana, but Naomi's jumping in.
Dark's Revenge and the Rage locking Vincent down, but you can't take Vincent down. Swalo jumps into the back, first thing now with a taunt onto Vincent, but now it's blazing duets. Coming down from highs. Not a lot of damage though, it's gonna be soaked in. Cars, 1 HP. Astral Spear hitting onto Banana. Tyrant's Revenge again by Naomi, knocking Swalo up at highs. When you let this man 3 hit, you cannot win the fight. Spear, body blocked by the Young Lord. RRQ holding their ground. Rebellion with a good steal on the orange buff.
That's the rage advantage from Rebellion Zion is what is keeping them available in this fight. RRQ, despite the ones wanting to go for a front to back, they have nothing to try and bait Rebellion with. So Rebellion can just kite back and allow Auditizi to do what he does best. And keep in mind, so far, I mean, Cars just has not been able to be taken down. RRQ just lack the amount of damage. Even if Skylar has already transitioned and brought the Windtalker earlier, just for a bit more DPS. The macro game is the only chance they have right here. With Banana split pushing, nobody from Rebellion Zion can afford to just use up a huge ultimate like a penalty zone or a Grievous Fighter just to pick up a Paquito, who is very slippery, who has a flicker as well. 3 seconds when the Lord is up. The wave so far is managed well by RRQ, but they're going with the same split. The Roamer and the Gold Laner in the top side.
All right. I have to ask you one question here, Arashi. For RRQ, for Skylar mainly, he's been actually changing and juggling a lot of his items. Earlier on, before that Lord fight where RRQ lost, he actually swapped that Great Dragon Spear into a DHS. So he's prioritizing more damage to tanky members in the front compared to that movement speed that we were talking about that is crucial for him. But now he's also sold his boots for Windtalker. So is mobility the reason that he's vulnerable now?
I think earlier, his idea was going for the Great Dragon Spear. You saw his positioning in the previous team fight. Towards the back line, trying to be more of an assassin, sniping the back line, a bit like a Leslie. But it hasn't been working out, and he saw how dangerous it was when Cars is able to essentially almost one-shot him. So he's transitioning to actually being a backline member, relying on the ultimate and his sprint for the kite back, the mobility. And I think it's the right approach, man. RRQ. They can't really attempt a dive against a team with 3 fighters. It's a bit too difficult.
Now, they spot him out. Ooh, they go for it.
Wow, so much commitment for Rebellion Zion. They spotted 3 members, sure, but
3 ultis.
3 ultimates burned out, no flickers. And to be honest, the penalty zone and the Bravest Fighter, well, even the Astral Echo comes up quite fast. That's a Twilight Armor for Swalo, though. Another defensive item to try to defend and prolong these fights. Persic holding on to that Lord, jumping onto Vincent, getting the full stacks on that Lord. 26,000 HP. RQ might actually try to go for the commitment here. Cars spotted out. Astral Echo reveals 3 members. Vincent still soaking up a storm. How? This Guinevere is unkillable with that Braves by Naomi gets taken super low. Meanwhile, across the other side of the river, Rebellion Zion have successfully reset the Lord, giving RRQ some time to reset their HP bars.
Okay, so Vincent, not only the Brave Smite, he also has the tank build, full tank build, just going for full utility in this team fight, and also a built-in lifesteal that he has from the passive from that first kill too. But Naomi charging, trying to get something in that bushes.
But look at that, right? Instantly, right as Naomi charges that Tyrant's Revenge, Persic just steps in to the Lord range. So they are trying their best to deny a reset from Rebellion Zion.
Okay, Rashi, I have to ask you a question. Like, what's the green light for both of these teams to be able to full-on engaging for a 5v5 team fight?
Well, we're gonna have to pull the trigger, man. The wave is pushing the top side and Cars goes in.
Look at Skylar, though. He's looking for the base right now. Auditizi doesn't see it. He finally recalls highs. Forced back away.
No way.
The base is going to be wide open. Skylar's walking in. Now dealing all the damage in the world to try to end this game, but it's not going to be enough. Highs is able to clear it just in time. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the battle of the mid laners around the river. But Vincent here, able to catch Naomi, taking his immortality down. Swalo winning a 1v2 as well. A Rage connecting onto 2 members. But Rebellion Zion, the Blue Bulls, The red sheet has been placed down by the Matador, and the Bulls keep on charging. Banana flickering out. Vincent chasing him down. Suelo, penalty zone, not connecting. Banana still able to utilize the movement speed built in the passive. Somehow, someway, Rebellion, they were able to win on all fronts.
What is going on? There's like 5 things happening all at once as Clay secures the Holy Crystal. Banana even securing a Winter Truncheon just for safety. But Vincent might be going for a 50-50 here.
No 50-50s in this Lord. This is Requiem. Full commitment onto Fiersick. No immortality. Clay with the flicker forward. It might have just saved the game, but he loses his life in the process. Fiersick as well. Skylar now. He is a damage dealer who is still alive. Rebellion do not have a source of DPS. They have a lot of burst with these 3 fighters though, and a lot of CC. RQ will take the safe routes. They will back away.
Wow, what a disaster, man, for RRQ. Everything was going so well for them, but they went for a bit of a gamble, going for a bit of a backdoor attempt, and that gets absolutely punished. Anyone from Rebellion Zion can come back and clear the way of Banana.
No way.
Nah,
Almost.
no chance. No chance. He does not get that steal.
Do they wanna watch out? Oh, okay.
Another attempt from Skylar. But he might be punished this time. Astral Meteor slows him down. That's a spear as well, forcing the
Rapid
sprint.
Boots!
Rapid Boots sold. I mean, he sold the Wind Talker for the Rapid Boots, but they're still chasing Vincent. Looking for a commitment. A bit too aggressive. That's a spear, though. It has connected. They're trying to walk Skylar down. They know they have this position. Skylar has no sprint. He has a Rapid Boost. Naomi is trying his best to now defend, but there you go. Another Astral Echo comes in. Skylar gets chucked for quite a bit. The bouncing ball comes in to finally disengage and get Skylar home safely. Banana, though, he might be caught. Winter Truncheon buys the time, sells it for the Rose Gold Meteor. Banana still surviving. He gets out. Brilliant maneuvers from Banana as he's able to distract and buy a lot of time, depleting some resources from the Blue Bulls.
Oh man, Rashi, you name it, man. Micro, macro, everything has it in this game. The item swaps, the discipline from Skylar as well, knowing that he has to save up that heavy crossbow at the last time to evade that Guinevere engage. But right now, Rebellion Zion is sieging.
Naomi's charging. He gets 2, but he's not able to commit. That taunt connects, but it's all just for Rebellion Zion to take this mid lane base. Naomi taking very low, burns down for the glowing wand. The Lord taken care of. Fiersick acting as the front line. Appraiser's Rat not connecting, not getting him to full HP. Rebellion Zion still holding the ball in their court. Skylar dove on Vincent. Gets a brilliant Requiem, but Skylar sells an item for an immortality. Winter Truncheon in the front by Vincent. Trying to buy some time right now, but the fight, it's a disaster for Rebellion Zion. RQ are winning slowly but surely out. It's easy with a good snipe again towards the bottom lane to take Clay down. 2 for 3. No base turrets for RRQ.
The kingdom is holding their stronghold. And a lot of wave clears from Skylar as well. Oh my goodness, what a first game that we're having here, Rashi.
So only the first game, but everything is on the line right here. RRQ, like we said, with Skylar available, Rebellion needs to respect that they are going for an end right now. Wave clear is limited with all the end cards only. This could be there's a chance this can work out, but RRQ have to play it perfectly.
Base turret taken down. Seems like Rebellion Zion want to just give it out. They know it's a bit too risky. The Meteor gets placed down. Mini waves are coming in from the mid lane. Top side and bottom lane, it's held down by Rebellion Zion's minions. So RQ, this is a very big risk that they're taking. 20 seconds onto that timer's highest. Fiersick gets taken very, very low. Midwave coming in, Bravest Fighter, now by Cars. Immortality is ready. He's able to sustain a lot as Skylar jumps in with a heavy crossbow. Fiersick gets chucked, that's a stun from Cars. Skylar gets out and it's a brilliant defense by the Blue Bulls. They say we can hold our stronghold as well.
Whew. Man, the last thing that Rebellion wants to do is allow the death timers to get cycled by RRQ. That was a great call, letting go of the base turret. And now, look at that. On the other side of the map, they have a base turret still standing, so they have a chance to abuse this in the macro play. And RRQ, they waste no time at all, prepping the ways for this very long Lord Dance once again.
30 minutes. We've been in this game for 30 minutes. It feels only like 2 minutes with so much action and so much skill being displayed.
I think somehow Cars, being the frontliner for Rebellion Zion, still has 0 death, tanking all the damage and also using that Brave's Might, using that Spell Film as well to stay him alive, to make him stay alive against the, the crossbows of Skylar.
Well, you can see Banana trying to make something happen, right? Just hiding around. He can go for a flank, but again, against Rebellion Zion, a flank isn't nearly as disruptive as it would be against a composition like RRQ's. They're still going for the Lord right here. Seems like Banana just trying to cut some waves, trying to play the macro game as good as possible. And Rebellion respect that. They have to try and hold on and be careful. They need to know where everyone else is from RRQ, unless they want to really get punished out of nowhere.
It's a big wave, man. You can see in the bottom lane that
Massive.
RQ have built up for themselves, and that's why Rebellion Zion are forced to let this go. My God, Naomi. If that connected, it would have been 100% a Purify burn, and that would have been a big, big green light for RRQ. But in the bottom lane, look at Rebellion. They've sent their gold laner. Main source of damage down below. RRQ still cannot commit to this, though, because they have been revealed. Rebellion know exactly where they are. And then this bottom lane, the super minion waves will continue to push towards RRQ. Rebellion are playing the long game.
No.
Vincent gonna be choked down. Oh, that's a full commitment. Swaylo with a 4-man penalty zone. Zone Skylar away. Vincent somehow still alive. Clay with a penalty zone again now onto Audi Teasy. High dealing damage. Banana tries to go in. It's a BMI defensively. When Nature used up, Highs cannot trade his items for more. RRQ have battled their way to a win in a team fight. Now it's just Cars all alone. Immortality gonna be taken out. He buys the winner truncheon just in time, but the Appraiser's Wrath and one splash of damage will take him out. 31 minutes in, the base is wide open. Audi Teasy versus the world. But Rex Regum Kaon has just won game number 1.
Woo! The treason has been stopped in this game number 1.